Hey, this is J-Hen with J-Hen Travel and Services, and I had stated a few weeks ago I was going to be starting a series on, planning events or planning a family reunion, because I know a lot of people may want to try to plan a family reunion and may be kind of stuck or may just need some help with trying to figure out, where do I start? I want to start this family reunion. How do I start? How do I get it going? What are some things that I might have to think about if I am thinking about hosting a family reunion? And then how can I kind of make this family reunion to last, to be an every year thing or every 2 year thing or every 4 year thing? But there's a lot of important steps that can go into planning a family reunion, especially if it's your first time, or even if it's not your first time, but there's still a lot of things that are not written in stone. So what I want to let you guys know about first is that I think the biggest part about planning a family reunion is just the overall planning in general. And again, it depends on if it's your first year having it or if it's been a few years in the works. But again, you still have a lot of major decisions that you have to decide upon. So one of the things is, it's always the dates. Like, what dates will the family reunion be? Will it be 1 day? Will it be 2 days? Will it be 3 days? Again, family members, depending on how you're starting out, do you have a list already of all of your family members, or do you have to go and trace out some of your genealogy or contact some of the elders in the family to kind of piece together everyone that you should be getting invites to? Cost, it is depending on where you have your family reunion, the type of events and activities you have. Cost can be a very big thing and something that we really have to take into consideration when planning a family reunion. Location, that can play a big part. Is all your family located in one city, in one town, in one village, or is your family spread out across the state, across the country? And if your family is more spread out, how will you actually get everyone to come together, or where will a good place be to where everyone will want to travel to that location? And is it feasible for everyone to travel to get there? Or maybe all of your family already resides in one central location, but maybe your family wants to do something where everybody goes away and have their family reunion in another city or another state or on a cruise ship or someplace like that, or at a campsite. So that's very important to think about. And then all the politics that go around with planning a family reunion, things like making a committee or having a board to plan things, or officers to be in charge to make sure that the family reunion keeps going, or committees to where everybody can have a job to help out to make sure that one person just doesn't get burnt out with all the things that go into planning a family reunion and hosting a family reunion, especially if you're doing it big for a lot of people. I mean, even if you're doing it for 50 to 100 people, it can take a lot of work to plan out a family reunion for even that size. So in 2011, my family in Milwaukee, we hosted our 39th family reunion. So our family reunion on my mom's side has been going on for a while. So that was back in 2011. And this year, 2019, is going to be our second time hosting the family reunion here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And this will be our 45th family reunion. And our family reunion actually started out about 45 years ago in, I believe, West Memphis on farmland that some of the family members had. And from there, it just grew. And now our family reunion is at a place to where it rotates between different cities each year. And for the most part, it rotates between cities that someone lives in or one of our relatives lives in. So we've never had it in a city that no one lives in. So we're always going to a city where someone actually lives in that city that is family. So like I said earlier, it just depends on what time frame you're in having your family reunion. Our family reunion has been going on. We've had our 44th family reunion in 2018, coming up on our 45th family reunion in 2019. And so one of the things that our family does have to help us to make sure that we have a reunion each year, to make sure that there's not any big arguments, or to cut down on disagreements and things like that, is we do have family meetings each year at the family reunions, and we actually have bylaws. So we have a list of bylaws that state things that may or may not need to take place during our family reunion. Like one of our important bylaws that we have is that the Newsome family reunion meets the every third weekend in July. So that helps out because even if you don't go to a family reunion one year, you'll always know that our family reunion is the third weekend in July. Or even if you don't get any information in a timely manner, you'll know to kind of block off that third weekend in July for the Newsome family reunion. And it can just be one day, but typically we always celebrate at least 3 days. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday are the days that we actually celebrate the Newsome family reunion, is that weekend. And then we also have officers. We tend to have a president, secretary, a family historian, a family photographer. So with all those people working together, it kind of helps the family unit and the family reunion to keep flowing each year. And so we have annual family reunions. So we have a family reunion each year, which I kind of think is a good thing, because if you go 2 years, sometimes, you know, the family can drift away, or it may be harder to bring people back together. I know some families that do every other year, and you know, they tend to work out as well too, but our family is very spread out. So I like to do the 1 year family reunion where everybody comes back together and we have our nice celebrations. During the weekend that we meet, we do have a time set aside for a family meeting. And like I said, during that family meeting, it's times where we vote maybe for officers, have elections. We talk about pricing, location of the family reunion for the next year. We do elections to elect the officers. We do elections and votes to pick which city the family reunion will be located in. Most of the time, whoever wants the family reunion, they typically end up getting it, because a lot of people know it's a lot of hard work and it's something you really have to be prepared for. The last few years, we haven't had to have many votes on where family reunion will actually be, because not too many people have wanted to take on that responsibility. So like last year, I kind of just went ahead and raised my hand and threw Milwaukee out there. So we took on the burden to make sure that we have a good time here in the city of Milwaukee for the family. So that's important to think about when you'll have your family meeting. So we do have, like I said, the annual family meeting during the actual family reunion. And then whatever city picks the reunion, a lot of times they will set up their own committee and branch off responsibilities and duties to different people in that city to help to make sure things flow smoothly. So cost is a very important thing that you have to think about, and it should be kind of discussed with the family as a whole, or again, if you're able to have a meeting amongst everyone to kind of discuss the pros and the cons, and to kind of get an idea of what type of reunion you want to have or your family wants to have. So for our family, we do have a family fee. It's $50 for single people, and it's $150 for families, and then we say up to 5 people. And if you have more than 5 people in a family, we say please send more money if you can. And so we do have some people in the family, even if they are single, they will send extra money. Or if they have a family, some people will send extra money. But just having that money be sent in to the person that's hosting the family reunion, it can be a lot of help, because again, you're trying to buy food, you may be trying to purchase decorations, you may have to mail out letters and get envelopes and stamps and all those types of things, you know, making phone calls, using gas to go places, printing off papers, you know, that stuff does add up, and especially the food, and then also paying for the venue, you know. And sometimes, unless you're just balling out of control, you know, then it might not be a problem for you. But most people, the money and contributions really are what help out to help the family reunion to move forward and to be successful. So hopefully I didn't talk too fast, but this is going to be the first video of a series of videos that I'll be uploading on talking about planning a family reunion, as well as I'll kind of be taking you behind the scenes and showing you the steps that we're going through to plan our family reunion, as well as, guess what? When July of 2019 comes, I'm going to bring you guys to my actual family reunion so you can see how our 3 days of the Newsome family reunion actually turn out. But just as a review, I want to go over some of the notes. It's going to be important to find a date and try to pick a date that will probably work for everyone. Again, our family, we have probably over 200 something people, so good thing we have a date set in stone, because if we just try to throw dates out there, we would probably never come up with a date that's going to be best for everyone. But luckily the elders in the family had already picked that date, and now it's stuck there in stone, so we don't have to go through that. But again, if you're new, just starting out, you got to pick the date, figure out who your family members are, who you want to invite. You want to figure out how much the cost will be. Will it be a free event that just a family member who's ever hosting is going to take on all of the cost? Will it be a potluck style, or will there actually be a family fee that people will have to pay to come to the family reunion? Again, you want to think about politics. You want to think about any committees. Maybe if your family does need some bylaws to help everyone stay on track, to stay respectful, to reduce arguments, and then set up a voting system. That way, it does get everyone involved, whether people might not like the outcome of votes, but at least you can say everyone or a majority of the family had an opportunity to give their input into what's happening, what's taking place. And then you're going to want to think about how often will the family reunions actually occur. So again, be on the lookout of part 2 of this series, as well as the other videos that I'll have coming up talking about the planning of a family reunion.